Fantastic. Thank you, Tori. Morning, everybody. Great that so many of you coming here this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are in the world, to listen to a short presentation about Abbey College Manchester. As Tori says, we've got a couple of students who are going to come a little bit later and talk about their experience here at Abbey College Manchester. And if you've got any questions, then please do just type them in the chat, and we'll be able to get onto those at the end. So, welcome to Manchester. So we're a small college. We've got about 200 students on roll, and we are based right in the centre of Manchester. If you look on Google Maps and zoom in on the very centre of Manchester, you will find Abbey College. We've got students from 29 different nationalities, and everybody works together in the classes. There's no kind of separation between domestic students, international students. Obviously, there is in GCSE English and IELTS lessons. All students who need IELTS have got IELTS on their timetable. We put lots of support in for the English language for the students who need it. So we are, as I say, we are a city centre college, and the students who come to join us, they will find that we're a little bit more independent. The students have to be a little bit more independent than they would maybe in a traditional boarding school or in a different college. But at the same time, there's an awful lot of support available for the students when they need it. And even if they don't, we're there providing support in the background that they quite often don't see. So we help students preparing for university by giving them more independence. And there's some examples there of the various different things that we do and the various different ways in which we do that. All UK schools are inspected on a 3-year basis by ISI. So our last inspection was March 2023, and we came out as excellent in all areas. And so we'll take the two different areas one by one. If we look at academic excellence, to start with, some very nice comments there from the ISI about what they experienced when they came to visit us just over 2 years ago. Really positive attitudes to learning, responding to challenges, study skills. And so we were very pleased to hear that. So the different courses that we do, we've got GCSE, we do it in 1 year. It is possible to do 2 times 1 year. So we do have some year 10 students, but we don't have a year 10 class. So the year 10 students would join year 11. And typically in their first year, if they're native speakers, they would do maybe 3 or 4 GCSEs and then do 3 or 4 different GCSEs in the second year. If they're international students, then typically a lot of the year 10 will be spent doing lots of English preparation, making sure their English improves enough to be able to tackle GCSEs the following year. So typically students might do maths GCSE, maybe one other subject, and then lots of English, getting them ready for the 1-year GCSE the following year. And we then have the A-level programme. We do the traditional 2-year A-level programme. And we also sometimes have students who join us just for year 13, having done year 12 in a different school or college. And we also have students who come and join us for resits, who didn't get the grades they wanted for university or want to try and improve those grades. And the same is true for GCSE. Okay, every year we have a number of students who come and resit their GCSEs. Either didn't get into the school or college they wanted to, or they just want to do better, or they weren't in the right environment. So every year we do have students resitting GCSEs and A-levels. We go from 14 through to 23 years old. And age really doesn't matter. As I say, lots of the students are here to learn English, to be able to access A-levels, to be able to access British education at university. So maybe join us once they've finished school in their home country, to do the English in order to be able to access British education. So sometimes students join us when they're 19, sometimes join us when they're 20. That's absolutely fine. There's no pressure to kind of fit into the you have to be this age when you're this year group, because it's a really supportive environment and nobody's really interested in the age. So alongside the GCSE and A-level programs, we have the International Foundation program, which is a 1-year course. It can be done over 2 years, but for most students it's done over 1 year. And like A-levels, it gives direct entry to university. It's externally accredited by the NCFE, but it's internally set and marked, and it's a modular course, unlike A-levels, where you start in September. 2 years later, you have your exams. For the International Foundation program, you start in September. You have Unit 1 exams in December, And then in the January, you start Unit 2. You have Unit 2 exams in the March, and then you start Unit 3 in April. And next week here in college is Unit 3 exam. So it's a modular program and it's a percentage-based program rather than a ABC program. And students gradually build up their percentage throughout the year and they can track their progress really closely and see exactly what mark they're on kind of as the year goes on. And the different pathways are there: engineering, biomed, business, humanities, creative arts, and sport. And within those, I think there's about 19 different subject combinations students can choose. It could be physics and chem, could be physics and maths, could be chem and maths, etc., etc., etc. Basically, if there's a subject combination that students want to do, if we can make it work on the timetable, then we will make it work on the timetable. And there's lots of flexibility within the International Foundation Programme. And as I said before, for all international students who need it, we also do IELTS, which is the English lessons on top of the A levels or the International Foundation Programme. So in terms of academic support, the maximum class size here at Abbey College Manchester is 12. The average class size is probably somewhere around 8. It depends on the subject, it depends on the year. Maths is always a very popular subject, so those classes tend to be bigger. But some of the other subjects, you may find yourselves in classes of 3 or 4, which is absolutely superb from a being able to ask questions point of view, from being able to get questions answered point of view, but just from being able to talk to the teacher point of view. We use Microsoft Teams for everything. So all the work is done through Microsoft Teams, through OneNote, and the instant messenger function on Microsoft Teams, we find it absolutely vital. It's a really good way of students being able to communicate with their teachers. We report home to parents every half term. At half term, it's just mini reports, and the mini report just says target grades, effort grade, and homework grade. And then the end of term reports are longer, and it also includes current working at grade, improvement areas, and next steps. Okay, and those are really bespoke, those are really focused, very short. So the improvement areas will be 3, 4, 5 bullet points saying exactly what you need to do. And the next steps exactly then how you need to do that in order to make progress. The students are all in tutor groups, as they are in any kind of school or college, and the tutor groups are organised by year. Each year has a head of year, and the head of year oversees the pastoral and the academic progress of the students within his or her year group. So if you have any worries, any concerns about anything, if parents have any worries or concerns about anything, they would get in touch with the head of year, and he or she would be able to find out what's going on and be able to communicate about that. So other support available in year 12, we alongside the A-level subjects and IELTS, we also have a class called Success in the Sixth Form. And it's a class basically it does what it says on the tin. It encourages, it helps, it guides students on how to be successful. So it goes through study skills, it goes through self-testing, it goes through note making, it goes through referencing, it goes through all of the things that students need to be doing when they're on a linear course. Because if you come and join us in September, if you start in September 2025, you're not going to be doing your exams until May, June 2027. If you leave your revision to kind of March, April 2027, it's too late. So the Success in Sixth Form lessons guide you through how to be doing the self-testing, how to be doing the recall practice, how to be doing the note making, the flashcards, etc., 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 to encourage and guide you to being the best you possibly can be. In the summer term, that success class then kind of morphs into a UCAS support class. And again, we walk the students through the UCAS process. UCAS is the system through which students apply to university here in the UK. And again, it's very much on a group basis. And then that turns into bespoke meetings with two of my assistant principals, Nigel and Mark. Nigel looks after the A-level students and Mark looks after the IFP students. So any support that you need is there. We also do an end of year review with all of the students, and in the first 2 terms, what we've done is we don't do parents' evenings anymore. We've kind of flipped those on their head, and instead of having a teacher talking at a parent about a student, we have the students talking to their own form tutor about their report, about their improvement areas, about their next steps, about any problems they're encouraging. Again, this is another step towards that independence that we're looking for. It's not done in a vacuum. There's lots of support from the academic teaching staff. There's lots of support from the pastoral staff, but ultimately the students are having to take on board the feedback and then say and reflect on it and say, yeah, actually, I know I'm not doing particularly well in this area in maths. I need to talk to Gary, my teacher. I need to do some more practice on this, whatever it may be. And again, it's that way of making students more independent and making them reflective, and kind of act on that feedback, take that feedback, and put into practice. So in terms of exam success, 2024. 33% 96 at GCSE, 45% A star to be at A levels, and 67% average score at IFP, which was really good. We're hoping this year that the results will be slightly better than that, but obviously it's very early days. We don't know where the exam boundaries are going to lie. The IFP, I think, are doing really well this year. And then in terms of progression, last year 75% of the cohort got to their first choice universities. And there's a list there of the universities that the students have gone to over the last couple of years. It's a really good list, and that is both A-level students and IFP students. So the IFP is accepted by all universities here in the UK, with the exception of some of the G5 universities. And it just depends. So for domestic students, we have a combined studies program, which is the same as the International Foundation program. And the combined studies program is accepted by an ever growing number of universities here in the UK. And we're more than happy to approach universities on a bespoke basis. This year, we've got a boy doing the combined studies program who's been offered a place at Oxford Brookes University, and he's going to study, I think it's business and international relations at Oxford Brookes. A couple of years ago, we had a girl on the combined studies program who got a place at King's College London to do neuroscience. So it's a really good course for students who want a slightly different pathway, that still gives access to top quality universities. Then, in terms of subjects that students typically go on to study once they leave Abbey College Manchester, huge range of subjects there. I'm not gonna talk about them all, but you can see there's a big range of subjects. So we're not just science, or we're not just this. We kind of cover pretty much anything and everything that students could imagine. And as we all know, in universities, there's never growing range of courses and flexibility at universities, and I can only see that increasing in the coming years. So obviously, alongside the academics, there is the pastoral side of the school, and personal pupils' personal progress, personal development, and again, ISI judge that as excellent. Again, I'm not going to read what it says there, but we were really pleased to see that they judged us as being excellent. And in terms of welfare, as I say, maximum class size is 12. So students do get a lot of attention. Students get a lot of care. Students get a lot of input from not only teachers, but also support staff, as and when they need it. We've got a wellbeing room up on the first floor. And again, it's just a nice, quiet, calm space. If students need some time out, they can go in there. We have a college counsellor who's in college every Wednesday. She's based in the wellbeing rooms, and students can book appointments to go and talk to her if and when they need to, and that's great. We've got a common room up on the first floor again, and again, it's just a nice space for students to go and relax when they've not got lessons. We're going to eat their lunch at lunchtime, and then downstairs we've got a learning centre, and it's a great environment for quiet study. There's various different kind of motivational posters down there, and I've got a learning centre manager who oversees it, and she can be used to support students with extra resources, extra revision. She's absolutely fantastic. She's a teacher, or she was a teacher. And then, as it says there, students also have access to independent school counsellors within the college. So alongside the academics, we also offer training in various different sports. So we've got football, cycling, and tennis. And doing those sports is possible alongside GCSE's A-level or International Foundation program. I would say they don't fit particularly well with A level, just because A level are so difficult. One of the boys you're going to meet today was doing football, and then he got injured, and he's back on doing football, and he's A level. He's coping really well with it, but I would say he's the exception rather than the rule, because A levels are very, very, very difficult. And the football, cycling, and tennis, they train 3 afternoons a week. So students potentially are missing quite a lot of input from the teachers, quite a lot of lessons. So sometimes some of the students choose to not go on certain days. A couple of the year 11 students, they have lots of lessons on a Monday afternoon. So they don't go to training on a Monday afternoon. And again, because we're small, we can do this. We can put bespoke things in place. We can kind of change things as and where they need changing as long as it's possible. Okay. So the students go and train. So for football, there's a team and a half, if not two teams, and they train at a place called 10 Acres, which is about a 10-15 minute taxi ride away from college. They are in a local college league as well, organised by Stockport County Football Club. And so they play matches both home and away, and the matches are on a Friday afternoon. And again, it's all videoed by VO, which is this AI video camera which kind of follows the ball around the pitch. So they get to then do some tactical analysis of their matches in the following training sessions and see what went well, what didn't, what needs improving on. Tennis, again, private lessons with a former tennis pro up at the tennis centre, and cycling is in the velodrome, which is just near the cycling centre, and that's in conjunction with British Cycling, which so that's all very exciting. Then we also have enrichment and clubs. So on a Wednesday afternoon, the last period of the day, there is an enrichment period, and it does what it says on the tin. It's a time for students to take a step away from their academic study and do something which enriches their time here in Manchester, their time here studying. And there's a huge range of enrichments available, and we're looking at adding even more for September with some exciting new ones coming on board. There's as you see, there's there's film club, audiobooks, listening, discussion, wellbeing, science, year 13 medical club. The most popular club over the last 2 years has been knitting, where students have sat and knitted. And again, it's that mindfulness, it's that doing something which completely takes you away from your studies, and they just sit and chat. They've got a teacher with them, and they all sit and have a little talk whilst they're doing their knitting, and it just completely takes them away from their worries or their focus on their studies. And the other really popular one is board games, where students come and play various different board games. Again, something a little bit different that maybe students don't do kind of at home anymore. So we're very proud that every year our students win some prestigious awards for their art and design subjects. Art and design is very, very strong here at Abbey College Manchester. So this year, as you can see there, Ollie won first place in the photo collage competition. Victoria won second place. And in the film and animation competition, we also got a first and two second places. And every year, students win first and second place in various different competitions. As you can see there, there's Buntarika, Adriana, and Nicholas, and they were the previous year, and they won, as it says there, first and second place. And every year, the students win competitions because, as I say, art and design. So we do art, we do photography, and we also do textiles. Three very strong subjects. And the way the college works for GCSE subjects, so we have a 2 week timetable. For GCSE subjects, students have 10 hours per subject per fortnight, and for A level subjects, they have 11 hours per subject per fortnight, including one double somewhere during the fortnight, which for practical subjects like the art subjects and the science subjects gives you a 2 hour slot to do the experiments or a 2 hour slot to really do some fantastic creative work. And having so much teacher time and so much teacher input in such small classes is great, because it means the students really get to explore things, really go above and beyond the curriculum in all the different areas. And there will be misunderstandings. English for 75% of our students is not their first language. It's not always easy studying in second language or third language, and we all appreciate that. So I've got very, very experienced teaching staff. Lots of them are here for many years. They are used to teaching students for whom English is not the first language. Okay, and again, In a small class, it's very easy to have those conversations. It's very easy to ask a question if you're unsure, and the teachers can really easily see if you've understood or if you've not understood something. And again, through Microsoft Teams, if students are a little bit shy, a little bit reticent about asking questions, then they can ask those questions in private through Teams. We are a boarding college, and we have a lovely boarding house called Clydesdale House, and it's not here where I am. It's about a 6 to 10 minute walk over in that direction, and it's in a part of Manchester called the Northern Quarter, which is a really cool area. And it's a really, really, really nice boarding house. If you are interested in coming to join us, we do have a video of it narrated by Alex, who's our head of boarding, and you can get to see kind of what it's like, what the facilities are like, what the bedrooms are like. But basically, it's kind of in two wings on each floor around a central kitchen and common room, and each wing has either 11 or 9 rooms. There's a boys' wing, there's a girls' wing. And so students don't share a bedroom. Each of them are single study bedrooms. They've got a nice big 3/4 size bed, study area, their own bathroom, and then each group of, like I say, 9 or 11, each wing has its own big kitchen and common room. We do all of the cooking, so we've got a fantastic chef called Ty. She's there 5 days a week and she cooks amazing food. But the students can also cook for themselves if they want. So we provide all the meals. So breakfast is kind of come and help yourself. There's cereal, there's fruit, there's snack bars, etc., etc., etc. We then also provide boarding students their lunch. So they come to college with a packed lunch. It's a sandwich or a wrap or a salad. And then we provide the evening meal. Students, like I say, they've got fantastic kitchens, so they can cook for themselves, and quite often when it's birthdays or cultural celebrations, national days, whatever it may be, the students often get together and kind of share those with other students in their wing. And there's also a cycle storage. So Ezra, who's coming to talk to us, he's a big biker. So he keeps his bicycle in the cycle storage and he goes out on his bike every weekend. And there's also laundry, which is included in the cost. The students have to do their own washing, but they get given a card and they go downstairs and there's washing machines and dryers. And then also in boarding, there are various trips and activities planned. So there's an activity on most evenings, and again, it's just to get the students working together. It's to get the students doing something a little bit different, and yeah, it creates that community feel. So to be in boarding, to be in Clydesdale House, students have to be age 16 on the 1st of September. So they have to be over 16 to board in Clydesdale House. For students who are younger than 16, then we have lots of homestay hosts all around Greater Manchester. Okay, so we've got lots of families who welcome students into their homes to go and live with them, and that's for under 16s. Now, what quite often happens is a student who stays with a host family when they're under 16. When they're over 16 and could move into Clydesdale, they choose not to because they're having such a great time and being so well looked after by their host family that they choose to stay with their host family. We had two boys who were with their host family for 4 years. They were old enough for the last 2 years to move into boarding, but they chose to stay with their host family because they became part of the family. So the way the host family works is students will get their own bedroom, sometimes their own bathroom, but not normally. And like I said, they become part of the family. Sometimes go on holiday with them. They go out weekends with them. And we encourage the students to eat their meals with the host families because that's how you really improve your English. To spend time with the family, talking to them, getting to know Manchester. And so as I say, the host families are all around Greater Manchester. So when a student first arrives, they'll be welcomed and taken to the host family, and the host family will then show them how to come into college. We'll probably do the journey with them a couple of times. And because of where we are, we're a fantastic location to get here by train or tram or bus. So all the host families live on a tram or a bus route, sometimes a train route. And again, the students are walked through how to do that journey, shown where to get on the bus or the tram, where to get off the bus or tram, and then how to get there from there to here in college. Okay, we also do that for the boarding students. We've got a little video which shows them our kind of preferred route of walking from Clydesdale House to the college building. So in terms of Manchester as a city, it's a really young city. It's a really student-centered city. As it says, there's about 100,000 students in Greater Manchester. There's three or four big universities. University of Manchester, there's Manchester Metropolitan University, there's Salford University, then just slightly further afield, there's Bolton. There's also the Royal Northern College of Music, Manchester Business School. So it's a really young city. It's a friendly city. It's got a great sports scene. It's got a great music scene. It's got a great art scene. It's a fantastic city to be in. It's a very affordable city compared to others in the UK, and literally 10 minutes on the train from the city centre, and you're in the middle of the countryside. Obviously, lots of students who come to join us, they want to go to Manchester University because it is, as it says there, eighth in the UK in 2023. And I think Manchester is the only city in the UK which is always in the top five best cities to live in the world, according to Time Out and Time magazine, along with New York and other places like that. So we love Manchester, and we encourage the students to make the most of it when they're here. Lots of the boys, they come because they like football. So regularly the students go to the Etihad or to Old Trafford if there's a European match on, you can get tickets. And we're absolutely fine with that. For students who are in boarding, they're allowed to go out in the evenings as long as we know what time they're going to be back in, and as long as they keep in contact with us. And perfect timing, Ezra and Alex have just walked in. So why Abbey College Manchester? Well, there we go. So obviously, boys, we're a small, friendly, welcoming community where everybody knows everybody. And I'm not going to talk through everything that it says on there because I'm going to let Alex and Ezra talk about their experiences here at Abbey. So, who wants to talk first? Alex is looking really shy and he's looking at Ezra, so I'm going to let Ezra talk first. All right. So, want to introduce yourself?
Hi,
Tell us where you're from. Tell us what you're doing here. Tell us why you joined Abbey College Manchester.
um, I'm Ezra. I moved to Manchester from Nigeria last year, August, and I chose Abbey sort of following a family path. So my sister came here and she had such a good experience, and it was a no-brainer that I would follow through.
And what's your sister doing now?
She's doing educational psychology in
At
ManMed.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how have you found your first year here then, Ezra?
I think the first year has gone incredibly fast. And for me, that was really surprising because I thought, oh, the first year would be the most stressful year, trying to get used to everything. But the school made it really easy to settle in, and we just got straight into like a flow state, and everything just sped up.
What subjects are you doing?
Maths, physics, and further maths.
Wow. And what did you get in your end of term exams?
3 years.
Three A's.
Yeah.
Amazing. What are you hoping to do at university?
Electrical and electronic engineering.
Awesome. And where are you hoping to apply to?
I want to apply to Salford, the Met, and Manchester.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So you have success in sixth form classes.
I do, yeah.
How have you found those?
Um, At the start of it, for me, it felt like this is just an opportunity to have a free hour of study.
Ah,
And then it started getting towards uni applications and UCAS and looking at what universities require. And so now it becomes like we're really using it to just plan out our future. And it is a really useful hour to get away from schoolwork and focus on what to do after college.
what about academic support? What support have you got this year from your teachers?
Especially in maths, the maths teachers are really helpful. Just now I was getting textbooks from Brandon and Doug just
Brilliant.
to help with the test tomorrow. But also in physics, they're really supportive and like they give a lot of materials, and Chloe especially has a lot of feedback. So she gives this assessment review sheet where
Cool.
you like circle how confident you were, little thing that you wouldn't expect,
Brilliant.
but all help
Brilliant.
assess how
Yeah.
we're making progress.
Cool. You are in Clydesdale House in boarding.
Yes.
Tell us about Clydesdale House.
It's a really welcoming environment, and I really like it because you can have your own space in your room, but then if you want to hang out with people, you can go to the common room and you can even talk to Alex Deatlefs and the other house parents, and they're really friendly and just feels like a nice
And
community.
what's your room like?
I have all the rooms are en suite, so I have my bed, a desk, bathroom, spacious enough to make it your own, but then yeah.
And you keep, I was saying you keep your bike downstairs. Tell us about your bike.
Well,
Where'd you go cycling?
I have a Townsend Combat mountain bike.
And where'd you go cycling, Ezra?
I go from town up to Stretford or Trafford, just around Manchester.
And you go out into the countryside, you were telling me as well?
I'm planning to go to
Planning to
the Peak District,
Nice.
but next month around the 14th, I want to go down Fallowfield Loop. So it's a route that goes along the former Fallowfield Railway, and hoping to do that with a group. So that should be fun.
But you only go cycling where you can stop at a cafe, is that
Oh yeah,
right?
that's the. What else would you do?
Very sensible. And what do you love about Manchester?
It's very accessible. There's routes for all sorts of travelers, and there's everything around. Like just behind Clydesdale, there's this nice food court kind of thing, but it's outdoors. And so you have these little communities everywhere that have everything within them.
And what is Thai's cooking like?
Well, Ty's a really good cook. She makes a variety of cuisines. She makes Indian food. I know Alex introduced a nice Chinese chicken dish,
Yeah,
and she made it and
excellent.
came out really well.
Very good. Very good. Cool. So she's really good, isn't she? So well, there we go. So that's perfect. So if you say there's something you particularly want, she can adapt her menus to doing that.
Also, she asked me to help her to cook a new dish, like introduce.
This is Alex.
Yeah, hi everyone.
So you helped her cook.
Yeah, I do. Once it was like Thursday or something. So after that, they put it on a menu,
Amazing.
and the menu is like refreshing every 4 weeks, I
Cool.
think. So it's
Cool.
rotating the meal,
Good.
and that was a kind of Chinese dish. We used beef at first, but we found out people like chicken more, so we changed it into chickens and kind of cook it with chilies, and that's pretty nice.
Very nice.
Most of the Asian people, I think they like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And did you like it as well? So not just Asian people.
I did like it.
Fantastic. Alex, do you want to introduce yourself then?
Sure. Hi, Alex Tan. I'm from China. I'm from Shanghai, and I come to Abbey Manchester 2 years ago, which is 2023.
So you did your GCSEs with us last year,
Yeah, I did 1 year GCSE.
and you're now doing A levels.
Yes, right.
And you're doing 4 A levels, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
doing what are you doing?
Further maths, physics, and photography.
And you also had your end of year exams. And how did you get any end of year exams?
I think I got 08.
I think you got all A's as well. Which did you? And so, why did you choose Abbey College Manchester? Obviously, Ezra, it was
Yes,
kind of a
yes.
family thing. Why did you come to Abbey
I'm
College
also
Manchester?
introduced by my friends at first,
Cool.
and after that, I get to know something about this college from the post, from the social media, and one thing is the location. It's right in the city center, which is I think is very convenient, and also I'm a football fan, so the city really interests me a lot. And after I come here, I find out like the atmosphere is so good, and from the location, if you want to grab some food or walk around the famous places, it's very close. So
Cool.
it's really inspired me. So.
And you were on the football program, then you got injured, so you stopped, and then you're back on the football program. You're the captain of the football team. Tell us a little bit about football then. So not only is he really intelligent, he's also really sporty, and he's a good cook as well. Wow, boys.
I think last year that was my first year.
Yep.
And football is also one of the reasons why I chose this college,
Cool.
because we got really good combination with study and
Yep.
football. And last year we got some incredible players, all from like all over the world, different countries, Africa, like Nigeria, Uganda, Spain, Portugal. So playing with these people is very enjoyable. And so last year our football team was really well. We finished as 3 on the table,
Very
I
good.
think.
Very good.
And so this year some people left
Yep.
because year 13 they go to university
Yep.
or back to their country, but we still got some new player coming, and we keep developing the team. And I think this year Abbey College run a football team themselves. So
Yes.
it's been a tough year,
Yep.
but we keep the standard and keep pushing as well.
And are you going to carry on with football next year
Yeah, I think so.
alongside 4 A levels?
I'll see. I'll see. I hope I can manage that because
It's tough.
yeah, yeah,
It's
but
tough.
I like all the subjects
Yeah.
and because this is
How do you find
yeah.
how do you find the time to do photography alongside kind
Mhm.
of further
I
maths?
think it's kind of balance the subjects because maths, further maths, physics, these are like many calculation,
Yeah,
a lot of paperwork. But at the same time, if you do some photography, like just go out and shoot, like feel the environment, sometimes it balances the
yeah,
feeling and you kind of relax from all the calculation and thinking and just get into some art. I think
brilliant.
that's kind of balanced me and
And you've got your
sometimes,
football as well,
yeah,
Ezra. You've got
yeah.
your cycling. Really
Mm-hmm.
important to have something
Mm-hmm.
else to
Mm-hmm.
do something outside.
That's pretty nice.
Cool.
And
So
then,
what about feedback from your teacher? So Ezra said Chloe's feedback is really good. What about kind of feedback from your
mhm.
photography teachers and stuff?
I think my photography teacher is Claire. She's like just like a really close friends and because in art this kind of subjects you need a lot of help,
Yep.
a lot of inspiration. You need to come out with new idea every single day. You need to keep like complete your portfolio. So my teacher Claire just always every lesson she will trying to inspire me somehow, give me some ideas
Brilliant.
and just you just like getting feedback every
Yeah.
day literally. Um
Very
I
good.
think
So
that's right.
what about university for you then, Alex? Where are you hoping to go for university?
Oh, I hope to go Cambridge.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
that's the
Aiming
dream.
high.
Yeah.
And what would you like to study at Cambridge?
Planning to do computer science.
Okay.
Depends on my subjects,
Yeah.
because
Why
maths
computer
really.
science?
I don't know. Just
Just like it.
yeah, probably just one of the choice. Depends on my subjects. There's a lot of calculation going on,
You enjoy that?
and yeah, yeah. And also my math teacher dog, and he's recently introducing some programming stuff,
Oh, cool.
which is really, really interesting, and we enjoy a lot. So that's kind of related to computer science.
Yeah, we had this was it last week Friday. He took us out.
Go sit closer. Go sit.
He took us out to see Alan Turing's memorial in front of the
Oh, well, yeah,
Manchester
yeah, yeah,
College.
yeah.
So that was cool. And he's been teaching us about the whole encryption methods
Yep.
and how Alan Turing played a role in Enigma.
Brilliant.
And yeah,
So he's not teaching you how to be hackers.
no.
No.
So he,
Can be.
so he says.
Fantastic. So in summary then, boys, tell me kind of three really good things about being at Abbey College Manchester.
Having the friends you
Yep.
made.
Friends from all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how it's really balanced with academics and extracurricular. And maybe the guidance, I think.
Guidance.
Yeah,
Okay, so like the
really.
support you get from your teachers.
Yeah, you're not thrown into the deep end kind of thing.
And you can talk to anybody, can't you?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Really. I used to be scared of you now.
Good. Good.
There
It's
we
like very
go.
scary. Alex, what about you? What are your top three things?
I think yeah, that's a really important point is the relationship between students, not only students and staff, teachers,
Yeah.
they're really close. Like
Yeah.
me and you right
Yeah.
now, talking with the
Yeah. Yeah.
head of master. So I think it's just really like that. And you can just talk to anybody, they will give you like really polite feedback or just
Cool.
having people chat about. So
Amazing.
it's really nice.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, you both came from completely different, well, obviously different countries, and I imagine different educational systems where it was really formal, uniform, calling your teachers sir and miss, to somewhere which is more relaxed.
Yeah,
But that doesn't mean any less focused.
true.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean any less driven, doesn't mean any less aspirational, just a very different way of doing it. I think, you two are doing incredibly well here. No pressure, but I'm looking for straight A's
No pressure.
from both of you next year. But whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. So Tori, I think that's the end of the presentation. And I know there's been a couple of questions asked. I don't know if they were for me or for the boys. But if anybody's got any questions, then now will be a perfect time to ask them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, firstly, thank you very much, Ezra and Alex. That was really kind of insightful in terms of what you're saying there. But and obviously, Ezra, you were telling us about your cycling and what you do at weekend. Alex, just tell us a little bit more about what do you do at a weekend?
Oh, well, as the season's finished right now, but in the season when the season start, like there's a lot of football game in the weekends, Premier League, Division 1, Division 2. So I always go to watch different football games in the weekends. I also play in a league in the weekends, and
Who do you play for?
I play for Penistone Church.
Do you?
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic.
Play in the, I think, Sheffield kind of league in Sheffield.
Wow.
Yeah,
So how'd you get up to Penistone? Train?
Yeah, I trained about 2 hours.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, but pretty nice.
Very good. Yeah. Very good.
Play snooker as well, man.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of snooker. A lot of play in Pakistan Snooker Club and just enjoy a lot.
They're the same one we. The same one we
I
run.
don't quite understand how you. I don't quite understand how you're doing 4 A levels plus all this sport. That's incredible, Alex.
Thanks. I don't know, but like where I come from, China,
Yeah.
we got even more
Yeah.
tight timetable and got like 7 or 8 of subjects at the same time. And
But if you're enjoying it, and
Yeah,
if you're doing
yeah.
really well, then absolutely carry on making the most of it. Very good.
Yeah, no, definitely. And for both of you, what do you kind of like the most about Manchester as a city? Why would you say people should come and study in Manchester?
I think it just like feels like a central, like the biggest city in the northern part of United Kingdom, and I don't know,
But
probably
it's still very small, isn't it, compared to
Yeah, yeah.
Shanghai? It's
I know probably people like the rain here. I don't know.
it never rains in Manchester, Alex.
Yeah, I feel like if you like the city feeling and lively activity, then you'd come to Manchester because you don't have campus-based schools, and you can just be in school, and then once you're done with school, go out or do whatever you want. And I think it's a nice mix of study and recreation.
So in terms of that, so obviously when you're here in college, you're registered in every lesson. Yeah, so we know you're here. Then in terms of going back to Clydesdale, you have to be back by, is it 4:30?
Yeah.
So you have to go and say hello so the house staff know you're okay.
Yeah.
But then you can go out again, can you? But then you have to be in a sense. So you've kind of got the freedom, but at the same time, they're kind of checking in on you, aren't they? And they're kind of looking after you, making sure they know where you are. And when you go to your football, if you go to a night match, you have to be home by a certain time. So you've got that freedom, but at the same time, the house parents are kind of keeping an eye on you, but from a distance, from like a non-intrusive.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, I find that the more you abide by their rules, the more lenient when it comes to when you need to not really bend, but have an exception.
Yeah. It's about respect and trust,
Right.
isn't it?
Reciprocated.
Yeah, absolute boarding has to work on trust. And if you prove that they can trust you, then
They do.
Then they do. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome.
Yeah, no, that all sounds really, really good. And that's all the questions that that I've got here.
Somebody had their hand up, didn't they?
Yeah, and I asked them to put the question in the Q&A, but I think they've actually dropped off the call now. I can't see them on there. So yeah, and then to everyone, as I said, a copy of the slides will be made available, and also a recording of the session that we've had today. And if anybody does think of any questions after the session, then please do email into the college. We'll be more than happy to respond back to you and answer any sort of further questions that you have. But other than that, I think that's everything. I want to say thank you very much for attending, and goodbye.
Fantastic. Thanks everybody, and thanks boys. Thanks Tori.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.